Spending thousands of dollars to upgrade your car factory speaker and subwoofers is a massive waste of money if you're still feeding them a terrible audio signal. As an audiophile who has tested countless high-end audio setups, I can tell you that the absolute weakest link in a modern car audio isn't the speakers. It's the highly compressed source audio being pumped out by SiriusXM and standard Bluetooth. If you upgrade your speakers before you fix your signal path, you aren't upgrading your music. You aren't just paying a premium to loudly amplify distortion, compression, and missing data. Today we are talking about car audio, a real hot topic for me as I have two really good car audio systems. I see this happen all the time. People buy a new car or maybe an older used car and they immediately hate how the flat, lifeless factory stereo sounds. So they drive down to a car audio shop and they spend anywhere from $1,200 to over $3,000 having the entire interior ripped apart. They install aftermarket amplifiers, a giant subwoofer in the trunk, and brand new component speakers in the doors. And look, I'm not saying those upgrades don't make a difference. I've done it. But from an audiophile perspective, doing that first is entirely backwards. Your audio system is a continuous chain, and a speaker cannot magically reproduce details, dynamics, and frequencies that have already been deleted from the audio file before it even reaches the amplifier. If your source audio is terrible, those expensive new speakers are just going to give you a much louder, much cleaner presentation of terrible audio. Before you spend a dime on speakers, you need to fix your signal path. Here is how to do it. Start with the source. Ditch bad sources. The very first thing you need to do is stop relying on satellite radio and standard Bluetooth connections for your critical listening. SiriusXM had the car industry in an absolute chokehold for much of the 2010s. A lot of us get a new car and it comes with a free 1-year subscription to satellite radio. It's incredibly convenient. I get it. You don't have to look at your phone. You just push a button and you have hundreds of stations. But here's where reality sinks in. SiriusXM uses a heavily modified, highly compressed AAC Plus format. It is nowhere near true lossless CD quality. Furthermore, satellite radio requires a direct line of sight to the sky. If you drive through a tunnel, a parking garage, or even just a deep valley in the mountains, on a morning commute, your signal drops completely. Standard Bluetooth is just as guilty. We have all been spoiled by sheer convenience of wireless audio, but standard Bluetooth codecs like SBC and basic AAC aggressively compress your music to send it through the air. When a file is compressed to transmit wirelessly, it strips out the extreme highs, the deep lows, and the microdynamics that make music sound alive and realistic. Instead of listening to compressed broadcasts, switch to a high-resolution music streaming service. Services like Qobuz, Tidal, or Apple Music Lossless tier offer true high-resolution, uncompressed FLAC and WAV files. Qobuz is a massive favorite around the office here because it gives you access to bit-perfect studio-quality master. By simply changing the app you use to pull up your music, you are instantly feeding your car system significantly more audio data, which immediately translates to a wider soundstage and punchier, more accurate sound. Now that you have your high-quality lossless files, you have to get them into your car system without ruining them. This brings us to step 2. You must use a physical wired connection whenever possible. As I mentioned, standard wireless connections destroy data. A wired connection bypasses that wireless compression entirely and provides a highly stable signal completely free of dropouts. How you do this depends on the age of your vehicle. If you have an older car, the 3.5mm auxiliary input is actually your best friend. It is a direct, foolproof analog connection that lets your portable audio device do all the heavy lifting in the digital to analog conversion process. Now, if you have a newer car, they have likely eliminated the auxiliary port entirely. Your best option is the USB input. But as an audiophile, I have to warn you about two major caveats when using USB in the car. First, a lot of people like to use high-end digital audio players or DAPs in their cars. While many premium DAPs from brands like Astel and Kern and Sony run on a customized Android operating system, they can have very mixed, incredible, buggy results when trying to handshake with your car's factory Android Auto or Apple CarPlay systems. They aren't standard smartphones, and the car software often doesn't know what to do with them. Second, while connecting via USB allows your DAP to act as an external hard drive, many factory car stereos simply lack the software or processing power to index and read a massive 1 terabyte library of FLAC files off an external device. The car screen might just freeze, just trying to load your artist lists. If your car USB connection fails you or the interface is too sluggish, your absolute best fallback is to use a high-quality Bluetooth codec. Dig into your car's stereo system and your device settings to see if they support LDAC or aptX HD. While still technically wireless, LDAC transmits vastly more data than standard Bluetooth, keeping compression to a minimum and getting you much closer to the wired high-fidelity experience. All right, step 3. To really maximize your car's audio without changing the speakers, you need to bypass your smartphone entirely and invest in a portable DAC amp or dedicated digital audio player. Smartphones are terrible audio environments. They are packed with cheap, mass-produced audio components, and they are constantly interrupting your music with text message dings, email alerts, and phone calls. Plus, if you're streaming massive lossless files on the road, you're going to absolutely decimate your phone's battery life and cellular data plan, assuming you don't hit a dead zone and lose your music entirely. This is where a device like an Aslon Kern or Sony DAP comes in. A DAP is essentially a modern audiophile-grade music player. It is packed with premium digital to analog converter chips that are infinitely superior to the cheap chip inside your phone or your car's dashboard. It has expandable micro SD storage, meaning you can load an entire terabyte of lossless, uncompressed music directly into the device. You don't need cell service, you don't drain your phone's battery, and you get 0 notification interruptions. If you want to take it even further, look at something like an Aslon Kern SP3000M, which uses AKM's flagship DAC chips in a lightweight aluminum body that's perfect for traveling. Or if you want something truly unique, the Aslon Kern SP3000T actually incorporates vacuum tubes into its circuitry. You can switch between solid state and analog tube warmth, completely changing the sound signature of your car stereo on a long drive. If you don't want a dedicated player, at least consider a portable DAC and amp combo like the Chord Mojo 2 or IFI Griffin. You plug your phone into the DAC and the DAC into the car via an analog connection. You can't use USB in this case. These devices feature premium FPGA in the Mojo 2 or Burr Brown DAC chipsets in the Griffin that process the digital ones and zeros with extreme precision before sending a beautiful, clean, dynamic analog signal into your car's amplifier. It is the easiest plug-and-play upgrade you can possibly make. And finally, step 4. Do not connect your premium audio gear to your car using cheap gas station, auxiliary, or USB charging cords. Your gear is only as good as its weakest link. Stock audio cables and cheap replacements are manufactured with subpar materials, poor geometries, and metals full of impurities. These impurities can act as a bottleneck, veiling the sound and preventing the true detail of your music from ever reaching your speakers. I always use this analogy. You would never tightrope across the Grand Canyon using a withered frayed rope because there's a massive chance it might break. So why would you trust your high-resolution audio signal to a poorly constructed $5 cable and expect great results? If you're going to take the time to curate lossless files and buy a great portable DAC or DAP, connect it using a dedicated audiophile cable. Our Moon Audio Silver Dragon or Black Dragon portable mini cables and USB cables are hand-built to order using pure UPOCC metals. These metals are virtually void of impurities, ensuring perfect, flawless signal transfer from your device to your car stereo. The Black Dragon copper conductors will add a beautiful music presentation to your sound, while the Silver Dragon is perfect if you need a bit more top-end sparkle and detail. Before you rip apart your car's interior to install new speakers, upgrading your source files, your cables, and your DAC is the easiest way to immediately transform your daily commute. If you found these tips helpful, hit the subscribe and let me know in the comments what your current car audio setup looks like. If you're ready to take your music from the car to the listening room, you have to see what we've built at Moon Audio headquarters. I'm taking you on an exclusive behind-the-scenes tour of our ultimate audiophile demo room, packed with endgame gear. Click the video right here and let's go check it out.